Hello YouTube fans, here again. Now I did the original one. That was the Exterminator. Let's now go into the classic. Everyone loves it. It was a big hit in 1991. That being Exterminator 2 Judgment Day. Say it again. Exterminator 2 Judgment Day. Starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Linda Amberton and so on. And it's good. It's professing this. I'm not going to admit, right? I saw bits and bobs of it when it first come out back in that era, when they were showing bits of films, in that era. And it was one of them films that when I saw it, I thought, how the fuck is Arnie come into it? Because if you remember the original Exterminator, and he had his skin burnt off. Linda Amberton and Sarah Connor cussed him, says that line, she's admitted, fucker, and she cusses him and he gets destroyed. And it's like, how the hell did Arnie come back looking like he did? But then it was only when I saw the film I realised it wasn't. And I like this film. When you think about it, it's a different gnome. I like the fact that they team up. And to me, right, this is to me, I always felt they should have stepped to Exterminator 1 and Exterminator 2 and called it a fucking day. I like David Chamlin films, I like The Abyss, I like Aliens, I like them films. I remember reviewing them films, that being Aliens. But I felt that David Chamlin, the director, should have stuck to 1, should have stuck to 2, God a day, because the third one to me is a big fat fuck you, do everything what Arnie does in this. It is. It fucking is. But anyway, let's get on with the story. So those bits, we know it's not the day now, but they base it on the future, and you've got like the bits that we saw from the first one, where it's all lasers and laser ships and so on. Then it shows John Connor, the older John Connor, and how the war ends. And then before you know it, you've got an epic music which you're never going to hear in any of the films of the Exterminator. The one was used in the original one, that they bring that back. Because the original was a big hit, that's when they decided to toss in on this one. And at first you got Arnie, and you think, is Arnie going to be a bad guy? He goes in this bar with bikers, and they're giving him shit. One of them both smoking his face, and puts a cigar in his chest. Because like the first one, he was in the nud, and this one is in the nud. So he's putting a cigar in his chest, as you know, it's not going to fuck all. And you find out he's a different android. That was why, or a different sideboard, as I say. That's why he looks like he did in the first one, but it's the opposite. He's a dudder. He's a dud guy. Then you've got the bad Exterminator, the T1 2000, is it 1000? And I like the fact it's liquid. Now, you already know I'm not a lover of CGI. I fucking despise CGI, but on this occasion, I think it went with the film. See, sometimes I do like CGI, and that's like I say again before I get boo-hoos, I like the CGI in this. It looked dud for 91, it looked bladding dud. So you get the idea, he's the bad Exterminator. He's the bad Exterminator. Now, when I first saw Exterminator 2, Judgment Day, I always thought that I saw the theatrical one, right? And I thought, yeah, the theatrical one was really, really good. But it was like this and this, and I actually saw the director's version. And I've got to admit, the director's cut by David Chamlin is more superior and is a lot more better than the theatrical one. There's a lot more in it. Like the scene we saw Beam makes his disappearance, and it's a scene where Linda Amberton's having a nightmare, and she sees John Connor, and John Connor is basically warning her what's going to happen, telling her to protect the son. It wasn't in the theatrical, but it was in the director's cut. There's a scene where these dads beat up Linda Amberton again, they said, or Connor, and they really do beat her up. They lay into her, one electric her in the back, with them electrical fucking stun done things, and they really lay into her. Again, in the theatrical, wasn't in it, but in the director's cut, it was. So there's a few other scenes here and there. So it was a deleted scene, it's a luft if they would have kept it in the film, where the bad Exterminator was looking around and is looking at photos to find out. Now it's similar to the first one. You got the Exterminator. The only difference is Arnie's a dud guy, and the 2000 is not a dud guy. And the only other difference is Instead of him trying to kill Sarah Connor, they're now trying to kill her son. My only issue is I weren't really keen on the lad actor that played John Connor, the kid long John Connor. I know it was a character he was playing. He was playing this cocky type of teenager who was disrespectful and all this shit. But I never liked him. I always felt a better actor would have been the one what would have been in Last Action Hero. If ever, ever anyone remembers the little boy in Last Action Hero, I felt he would have been a better role as John Connor. Because this one to me, I just thought he was a brat. He was a brat. I do remember the song by John Rhodes. It's no movie ballad. I'm going to do the rest, but I'll kill it. I'll probably exterminate it. But yeah, it's a good film. I love the scene where he's on the motorbike and he saves the little boy. You got the liquid dye. And again, I just like the idea that Sarah Connor teams up with Exterminator, originally died a killer, and this is Dud Die. It made it different, it made it a different gnome, and I like the fact they used practical, CDR. When it's mixed in both, it's not as bad. It's when you just CDR, 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 all the way fucking through the films, you have an orgy out of it. That's when it's annoying. In this, I don't mind when they're trying to be using a bit of both. Practical, you had real stunts, real explosions. I like the fact they mix it. I mean, I like the bit where the liquid exterminator comes out, kills that cop. Looks exactly like that cop. You do get one actress, I think I've seen her before. Think of Near Dawn, vampire woman in it. And she was in Lethal Weapon 2. Gets killed in Lethal Weapon 2. Gets blown up. And if I remember right there, she was in Aliens. It also was a TV Tamlin film. She's sort of like in this. She makes a small appearance. And I'd love to see where Exterminator outsmarts the stepmom of John Connor, where she says, "Is Ruthie okay?" Which just was a different name of the dog. And that's when the Exterminator realises it's not a bit of weird scene, and it's a bit where you see a director's cut where the dog gets killed. That could have just been cut out. Okay, I know no dogs in real life or any animals would hurt, but do you really need to see that? That's my only issue on that. But the rest of the film, I love. And again, you've got the epic scene where he's on the truck and you're having them epic fight scenes. And I love the way that the bad exterminator gets it. I love it. He drops him in cyanide and you got all the liquids coming out and the face melts. I love that scene. I love it. The only issue again is the fucking ending. I love the ending where and he says he self-sacrifices himself because he knows he's got a tip at the back of his head. But again, in the director's cut, again, that scene could have been cut out where Sarah Connor's going to smash the tip in and Don Connor stops her. The theatrical one, as you admit, I prefer that because I felt that wasn't really that needed. But in this, you get the idea that tip would make the other exterminators, and there's one die in it. Right? He was a bit of a dick, but he made a mistake. There's one die with his son and his wife, and they sort of tossed it. He didn't realise he did it, but they did. So the exterminator and them go out to end it. Each sadly dies, which is sad. And again, at the end, Tarek self-sacrifices himself. It's sad, but it's satisfying. They do the third one. Did that. I know it's not Arnie's fault. It was the lines what was different to him, but you can see his heart wasn't in it, and that was the third exterminator. The only thing what fucking pisses me off is when he says that line, "It's inedible." What the fuck does that word mean? Inedible. So you're trying to tell me, Arnie, that you saved John Connor, you ended it all, you self-sacrificed yourself for fuck all, because it's inedible. But anyway, that's the only thing what pissed me off with the third Exterminator film. That's why, in my eyes, it's subjected to 1 and 2. But I love this one. You can definitely see why in 1991 it was a big hit. It definitely was jolting. I just felt that it was kept it to its 18 roots, like the original. But other than that, though, it's still not a bad film. That being Exterminator 2. Judgment Day. Into then. I'll see you soon.